morning. My name is Harry Daniels, National Civil Rights Attorney, along with Ms. Shamika White of the White Law Firm of High Point, North Carolina, and our local counsel, Ms. Deanna Coleman here. We have the privilege to represent Fon Dockery and his wife, Kimberly, the parents of the beautiful Janice Dockery. We came here about almost 2 years ago, and tragedy has struck this local community. But I think it's more of a, not just a tragedy, but a travesty. And I say travesty because it could have been avoided, prevented in so many ways, from securing weapons, from supervising children. This could have been prevented. And not just prevented, but the law in North Carolina. It's time for the law in North Carolina to put emphasis on children, to ensure the children of this state, all parents, are safe and protected, and stricter gun laws. This morning, we filed a lawsuit on behalf of the estate of Janice Dockery. Lawsuit is against Crystal Michael. Ms. Michael was the babysitter the day that Genesis was shot and killed. And Thomas Michael, the grandfather of her son, where the guns was allegedly secured from his home. Listen, this is a very difficult time, but it's necessary because we want to hold those accountable that's responsible. So we can talk about a 11-year-old child, what he did or shouldn't have done, but we got to hold the adults responsible, accountable for the actions of children they're supposed to supervise. Not just supervising their child, but Fon, on that day, he took his 2 children over there. And the last call that he ever thought he would receive is a call that he received. And this family had been ripped apart. But we want to, not just in the face of this tragedy, this travesty, this family is dedicated to help other families, not just the children who have been victims of gun violence. And this lawsuit talks about, as recent as 2 weeks ago,
Correct,
a 1-year-old shot and killed by a 3-year-old. It continues to happen every single day. And we ask for transparency and accountability. And this is what this lawsuit brings. And I hope that this lawsuit garners other people that follow suit in order to bring those responsible to justice. With that being said, I'm gonna give you more. I'm gonna talk about more about the suit coming up, but I want to bring up Ms. White. She can say some words, share some words on this matter, and Fonnie's gonna come up and talk. Then I'm gonna come back and talk more about the suit. We'll open up a Q&A.
Okay, like Attorney Daniels stated, this was completely and totally unnecessary. Definitely could have been avoided. A child that had a propensity of liking guns, of being around guns. So we are here today to ask for truth and transparency and to bring some justice to this family. Again, this situation could have been avoided.
Fonnie's gonna come up and speak, but hold your questions. As you know, now it's different now. We are in litigation. A lawsuit has been filed in this matter. And I'll give you more particulars about the lawsuit itself. I know y'all want to hear from this family, and we're going to give them an opportunity to speak. So, Fonnie, you want to speak?
Our family has been changed forever by a tragedy that was very well preventable. Irresponsibility, negligence. We stand here today to own up to our human responsibility, our parental responsibility, to ask for justice and transparency for the life, the light, and the advocacy of Genesis Dockery. I represent my family, who's been in therapy consistently for 2 years, trying to manage life without our daughter. We're thankful for our attorneys. We're thankful for our support, and we'll continue to push forward.
Appreciate it, Fawn. No parent should have to bury a child. I don't care if the parent is 90 and the child is 70. No parent should have to bury a child. In the introduction to this lawsuit, you should receive a copy of it. And there's been a documentary on this already, but I want to echo this. In 2021, children in North Carolina were 50% more likely to die from gun violence than children in the U.S. as a whole. In this state. On February 28, 2025, a 5-year-old died from being shot by another child by playing with a gun. February 28, 2025. That's only about 2 weeks from here, right at 2 weeks. January 23, 2025, Kannapolis, North Carolina. 7-year-old girl accidentally shot and killed by her sibling. And I think we owe it to these families to keep going. What you think, Ms. White?
Correct.
On November the 10th, 2024, in High Point, North Carolina, a 1-year-old was shot and killed by a child younger than the age of 10 years old. Y'all see the occurrence here? February the 4th, 2024, in Greenville, North Carolina, a 3-year-old accidentally shot and killed himself. January 14th, 2024, in Lenoir County, a 3-year-old accidentally shot and killed himself from an unsecured firearm. And on July 27th, 2023, an 8-year-old Janice Doctor was also shot and killed from an unsecured firearm. Enough is enough. We can bring this lawsuit from wrongful death and gross negligence. You see, I am also a father. Ms. White and all the standing up here, and a beautiful Amara is, thank God she's still here to carry on the dream and legacy of this family. But we have to hold those accountable for their actions. And this starts today on behalf of this family, because no arrest was made for the adults. The child who committed the act is back at home, like nothing happened. The children in these cases, same exact thing. Enough is enough. With that being said, I'm gonna open up for Q&A. Be mindful if you ask a question to the doctors. I may stop them from answering that question due to the fact we are in litigation. So identify yourself and who you're with. Right here.
Hey, this is Carly James of WRAL. What needed to happen to bring this lawsuit forward? Why now?
Well, it's not a matter of thing what needed to happen, but some things that we hope happened for as a criminal aspect of it that did not happen. Right, Fawn? Right. You know, this is not a lawsuit based on that we waited for any particular time. We was hoping that the criminal justice system would play itself out to the satisfaction of this family, and it did not. So the time is now. Time is now. You know, I know it was a rumblings of a particular act that her name is on, a Janice Doctor, and I don't know what's going to happen to that act. I know that a Baptist preacher in Birmingham, Alabama in 1963 said justice delayed too long is justice denied. I do know that. And I know a lot of children in North Carolina have been dying in the hands of guns, unsecured weapons for a long time. I just gave you the stats. So it's no timing, it's now. We can't wait any longer. So good question.
Joseph Pierre with the Fayetteville Observer. Was the child responsible ever charged by juvenile justice?
Yes.
Do you know what charges he was given?
I was involuntary manslaughter, and I think larceny of 2 firearms.
Did that child plead guilty, and what
It don't necessarily work like that with juveniles. It's not like in a criminal court as a child pleading guilty. The child may even understand what is happening. So it's usually determined if the child is deemed responsible. That's a different standard in juvenile court.
was the outcome of that?
Well, ultimate outcome, he's back at home with his family. But I think he might have spent some time in juvenile custody, and that was it.
What charges do you believe Cumberland County should have brought against the family?
It's about the people with the mom.
Yeah.
A lot of charges: child abuse, child neglect, not securing a weapon. You know, I heard rumors about the sheriff office saying about a locker and lock. But if a child who you know has propensity for violence against other children and have a strong interest in guns, because if you look at the complaint, he actually is on social media, TikTok, with a gun beside his head. His face blurred out. So that immediately that should tell the family, hey, you may want to make sure the guns are away from him. Make sure he can't get access to a key or a code. That didn't happen. And if you give me your keys to your car, and I take your car, you can tell the police that the car was secured. You gave me the keys, or you left your keys on the table. As simple as that. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science, but the laws need to be stricter.
I wanted to ask about the piece of legislation that's moving through right now. Did family members talk to the legislature? What was your involvement in that, if any?
Well, I'm gonna refrain from speaking about this legislation that's moving through. I think it's a bill being introduced, the Genius Doctrine Act. We'll see what happens. I hope that the legislators in the state of North Carolina can put aside their political differences for the sake of children. And we're not asking for a whole lot. We're just asking for stricter gun laws and policies that hold those accountable. I think that will help with the deterrence to ensure that these guns are secure. Nobody's trying to take anybody's guns from them. We're just trying to take the guns from the children so they can't get access to them. Any questions over here?
Yes, when you look at the lawsuit that's coming up along with the thing, what's the end result that you would love to see as far as punishment, stuff like that, penalties, that kind of thing, for parents to leave unsecured guns?
Well, I think that, somebody asked me this question the other day. If you gave a child a car to drive or access to a car to drive and it should not be driving and something happened, you're going to be charged. You're going to be charged. A gun alone itself is not considered dangerous. Something has to happen. And if you enable or get the access is easier, then you're just as responsible. You just as responsible. You look at what a 3-year-old accidentally shot himself. The 3-year-old probably didn't realize what they was even holding. They didn't know what they was holding. Or if they thought it might have been a toy. So somebody got to be responsible for that. And absolutely, the parents or the person who's in charge of that weapon or who's in possession of that weapon should be held accountable. And a misdemeanor is not good enough.
Brandon Kingaller for NC Newsline. I have a question for the family.
What's your question?
What will a verdict in this lawsuit mean in terms of bringing you closure and bringing justice?
He said, what a verdict or a successful outcome of this lawsuit, what would it mean to you? You want to talk about it? Well, let me say this, and he can respond as well. I don't care if they secure $100 million. It's not going to change. Their loss and the void they have in their family. They understand that life continue to move, and you can see they are still here standing, but for the grace of God, because I don't know how I'd be standing if I was in their shoes. But they still here. So any verdict or success, in my opinion, that's exactly what it is. Fun, you want to respond on that?
I would say that hopefully that verdict would move us closer to getting stricter gun law responsibility and accountability. And no, $100 million later, we still got to go to the graveyard to see our daughter. So that's our answer.
Amen. That's right.
Yeah, Monique John from ABC 11. In addition to this lawsuit and to the bill that's been proposed in state legislature, how else would you say that you've seen Genesis's life and legacy has just really proliferated in the community?
But look around. Y'all stand aside for a second. Look at these signs. Accountability. Justice for Genis. See that? This is.
Juan, did you want to speak to that?
But let me say this. obviously it's been, y'all come back. It has been a documentary done that won Emmys to put more light on it. You know, and this family did not ask for this. Nobody want to be in this fraternity. Nobody want to have Attorney Harry Daniels represent them, people like myself and John Burge, Lee Merritt, Ben Crump, and Shamika White. Well, that's not what you want. But we're here. We're here to help, not just to help this family, but help your family, because it's normal to take a child to child care. It's abnormal to get a phone call that the babysitter's son is responsible for killing your child. Fun, you want to respond on that, what she asked about how have it changed community?
So through our nonprofit, the Live Like Genesis project, we have consistently been working in the community with therapists, with city police, with other advocates to bring awareness to gun violence, to bring awareness to securing weapons. So her light continues to go forward in the change that it is creating even now.
This family's working, guys. They are advocating all over the state. Fun and his wife, any opportunity they have to speak about this, to talk about what happened to them, the tragedy that came to them, to their front doorstep. They're advocating that it do not come to other people's front doorstep. So these are, in my eyes, these are champions, these are heroes, something they did not ask for, but they are playing their part. They just need for everybody, the legislation, to do their part. Any other questions?
Amen. What can we do as a media to help broaden this fight to get the laws passed, get them changed? Because there's different shootings at different places, but yet once it happens, we kind of move on to the next story. That's right. What can we do to help get this message?
You know, that's a great question, and the stories change like the wind. Let's shift a couple times out here. Keep exercising that First Amendment, freedom of press, even though some of those want to take it from some people. Keep pushing, keep writing the stories, keep bringing it to the forefront. You know, and the media and the press is very important in these cases because it brings the people, it brings to the living room. You know, otherwise who wouldn't even be concerned. It makes it real to them to know it's happening in their backyard. So we commend the media for continuing to push the agendas and push these things forward. Right. Any other questions? All right, listen, this lawsuit obviously is early stages of it. We'll keep you updated. Hopefully this law is taken very seriously by these legislators who have championed this bill. And we want to make sure that it get fair consideration, not just that, but as this lawsuit progresses, we would definitely keep y'all in the loop. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you being here. Thanks. Y'all say her name.
Genesis.
Say her name again.
Genesis.
I appreciate it.